What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. The Russell Westbrook witch hunt has started again. Of course, idiots on social media and mainstream media have come from the shadows where they barely mention Russ when he's been playing great damn near all season, but out they come from the shadows after that game against the Timberwolves.
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
And now, after the firing of Coach Malone, and Russ reported to be a reason between the divide of Coach Malone and the GM, has been catching strays in the middle of all of this. And again, Russ has become the scapegoat somehow. Am I crazy? Russell Westbrook on the Denver Nuggets in the beginning got off to a little bit of a slow start, but it didn't take very long before it all came together. Him and Joker were clicking. The Nuggets were clicking. They looked like one of the best teams in the league, had one of the best offenses in the league. And all I remember hearing and watching with my own eyes, because him and Joker were playing phenomenal together. The chemistry was incredible. Next thing I'm hearing, Russ and Joker are incredible. What a tandem. They're thriving, especially ever since Russ has been inserted into the starting lineup. The Nuggets have looked incredible. I'm loving this Joker-Russell Westbrook combo. What has the Joker and Russ been able to do that LeBron and Russ couldn't? Am I going crazy? Did that not happen? And y'all remember when Jamal Murray was in that slump and Russell Westbrook was holding it down? Do y'all remember Denver Nuggets fans shouting from the top of the mountain for Russ to replace Jamal? Did that not happen? Am I crazy, or did this not happen?
Something is brewing with the Denver Nuggets between Jokic and Westbrook. Triple-double monsters. Coach Malone had something to say about it.
You have two of the greatest triple-double players in the history of the game who impact the game across the board. And that's what you love, scoring, rebounding, playmaking. And to have two out there at the same time, it is a blessing. I don't take it for granted. I've been around guys that will stat pad. Nicole is not the guy. He's playing the game. And for us and how we play, he is the centerpiece of everything we do. We're asking more of Russell Westbrook. And the ball's in his hands, and he's making the right play. And those do lead to wins. And ultimately, that's the most important analytical stat. It's not a number, it's a letter, and it's a W.
All-time first in triple-doubles, Russell Westbrook. Third, Nikola Jokic. Anyone have number two? Who was number two?
Triple-doubles of all time?
Triple-doubles between Westbrook and Jokic.
Big O. Big O.
Thank you, sir. 1 point check. We're going to keep a running tally. Westbrook, 13-4 as a starter for the Nuggets this year, which is crazy. Last 10 games, he's averaging 16, 8, and 8. And I feel like every NBA player, current or former, is rooting for him in this new role.
Russell Westbrook is one of the most misunderstood players in the history of the NBA that's going to be a Hall of Famer. And the reason why I say that is a lot of times you want to be the player of skill. So you look at somebody like Steph Curry and you walk in the gym, I want to shoot from as far as possible and be like him. But Russell Westbrook's will and his talent and effort and his ability to impact the game in so many different facets, is the kind of player that everybody wants on his team. And that's literally what Shaq is talking about when he says another. So now you put Russell Westbrook in the game, he's actually making it easier for the Joker.
Totally.
When is the last time you watched Denver play and somebody set the table for him?
Right.
Russell has the ability to do that, and he's been doing it lately.
I have a question for the panel. Denver has a championship, right?
Yes.
Correct.
And who was the main two for the...
It was Murray and Jokic.
Say that name again?
It was Murray, Jamal Murray, and Jokic.
Okay, so now that Westbrook is playing great, Mr. Murray, where have you been?
Were people not talking like this?
And this Nuggets team had a clear pecking order where he'd have to plug in as the third or even fourth ball handler at times. But everything seemed to change once they put him in the starting lineup 15 games ago. Before that, they were doing okay at 16-12 with a 6th ranked offense and a 15th ranked defense. Over the past 10 games, where Russ and Jokic started together, the Nuggets have won 9 of those games. And you can see a clear uptick in Westbrook's numbers when playing alongside the top 4. But we can't overlook how well Russ has been able to blend into their offense. If we examine how often he'd receive passes on cuts for shots at the rim, let's just say it was a foreign concept to him. There were years he'd barely do it 1% of the time. So you can imagine my surprise to see him up that number to 9.3% of his possessions used. And when he plays alongside Jokic, the offense functions better than their overall offensive rating, indicating to me that they're able to put more pressure on the defense by combining the incredible passing ability of their big man with a guard who has led the league in assists per game no less than 3 different seasons. I think it's important to understand how far Russ has come to make this work. Nowadays, you'll see him cutting to the hoop and playing off of Jokic for a lot of easy buckets. One way Nuggets head coach Michael Malone made it easy for Russ is to have him and Jokic screen for each other to force a switch. The double ball screen so close to the basket sees Lively pick up Russ for fear of an explosive drive with one dribble for a layup. That means Dinwiddie has to mark Jokic at the nail, giving up 100 pounds and 6 inches. Russ immediately cuts to the hoop, Lively takes the bait to support his smaller teammate, and Jokic easily throws the ball over the top for the open layup. The Mavericks adjusted by putting a bigger player on Russ with hopes that the switch wouldn't pose such a huge mismatch. PJ Washington offers some resistance, but Lively's job is to protect the rim, and he can't resist leaving Russ to contest the jump hook. When Dinwiddie doesn't bump down to help the helper, it's a nice wraparound pass for a lefty layup to finish off this game. But it's not just Russ who's benefiting from forcing these switches. They'll have him screen for Jokic at the elbow, which caused mass confusion over who's guarding the ball. This allows them to run a little two-man game where Jokic gets to cut to the hoop, receive the nice pass, and finish before Wemby can react. Anybody playing alongside Jokic is going to be the beneficiary of his intense gravity when he decides to go down low and post up.
Am I crazy? Is this just AI? And it's weird seeing Joker fans who were boasting about how great Joker was, unlocking Russell Westbrook, making it work with Russ, and they were using that as a jab against LeBron. Saying, we got the guy that actually works well with people. We got the guy that actually unlocks people. People can thrive with him. That's not LeBron, that's Joker. And now, all of a sudden, I'm seeing Joker fans throwing Russ to the wolves. No pun intended. And I'm like, wait a second. This is not how this works. It's unreal. The Denver Nuggets go on a little bit of a losing streak, whatever, 4 or 5 games, whatever it was. Russell Westbrook was having a pretty damn good game against the Timberwolves. And at the end of the game, he had a few bad plays that cost him the game. And people came out with pitchforks. And one game against the Timberwolves erased all the great things Russ has been for the Nuggets all season long. And now people are calling for him to get removed from the team, removed from the NBA, trying to lynch this guy, crucify this guy, as if none of the other stuff ever happened. It didn't help that it was a high-profile game on national television, and it also didn't help that it was Joker's best game of his career individually. But people, what are we doing here? People have been making mistakes all season long on every team, but they weren't met with this kind of vitriol. Just a week or two ago, LeBron James against the Chicago Bulls Total collapse. Worse than what Westbrook did. LeBron James, on a blown defensive assignment, a turnover, and poor defense all at the end of a game. While Hillbilly Kobe, Austin Reeves, is keeping the Lakers in it with clutch shot after clutch shot, LeBron James, on his own, gives up 9 points and a turnover in the final moments of the game. And nobody spoke about LeBron James like they did Russell Westbrook. The only guy that really mentioned LeBron James' name was James Worthy, and he even struggled. He struggled to let LeBron James' name roll off his tongue. What is this? Now, of course, the reports are Russell Westbrook probably won't be around next season for the Nuggets, because he's the cancer on the team again. He's the problem with the Nuggets struggling lately. Russ, after all the great moments he had with the Nuggets, Russell Westbrook triple-doubles with the Nuggets, great games, clutch performances, defensively and offensively, has played a pivotal role in close victories for the Nuggets that people don't want to talk about. And y'all are going to try to bully this guy out the league again, after he did everything he could to come up from the ashes of the Los Angeles Lakers through the Clippers and the Nuggets. Y'all ready to, you know what? I hate to see it, man. Social media and the media, social media and mainstream media got people in management not seeing clearly, foggy-minded. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see Russ isn't the big problem with the Nuggets. He was everything for them. And it comes down to just a small moment in a game that cost him the game and a bit of a losing streak. And it's all his fault? I saw Nick Wright talk about, oh, no surprise that there's turmoil on the team and Russell Westbrook is centered around it. Really? When all we have ever heard was glowing things about Russ. Ultimate team player, great energy guy, playing his role, doing what needs to be done, getting people easy buckets all season long. Now, it all came down to this? I hate how much social media and mainstream media influences decision makers in the NBA. It's sick. And this is affecting people's salaries and their careers in a negative way where it shouldn't. Case in point, you know what the problem with the Denver Nuggets is? It's not Russell Westbrook. It's their goddamn defense. Defensively, as a team, they suck. And I can tell you what, of all the players on the team, Russell Westbrook isn't one of those guys that's not putting in an effort defensively. I can tell you that. He's been out there guarding with effort, with energy, and has been a great help defender as well, playing the passing lanes. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this guy keep key possessions alive time after time after time with rebounds, offensive rebounds. Nobody talks about that. I'll tell you what, Russ isn't one of their problems on defense, and they have a defensive problem. That's what the Nuggets need to address. You could try to point at a turnover or 2 or 3 from Russ here and there, or in a game, whatever. Y'all could try to point to that and be like, this is what's wrong with the Nuggets. Come on, man. Really? Really? How about people are starting to attack Joker now? Huh? Nobody want to talk about that, do they? They realize if you attack him, he ain't blocking no shots. He ain't deflecting no shots. Nobody want to talk about that, because that's what teams are doing now. And I'm not blaming it on Joker. I'm just saying this is how crazy it is, man. This is how they pick and choose who the scapegoat's gonna, who's the sacrificial lamb. Of course it's gonna be Russ. Mike Malone actually understood Russ and figured out how to make him work and the team be better from it. And I noticed Pickney, that's his name, right? Pickney. I've been watching him play last couple weeks, and he's a nice little solid point guard. A different kind of point guard than Russ, but he does have something beneficial to the team. And the minute I saw Pickney having some good games, I was like, okay, you know what? I could see him and Russ maybe splitting minutes from time to time because they both offered different things that are good for the team. That's fine. But what's going on now is crazy. I feel bad for the guy, man. He does not deserve this. He does not deserve this. And this all started from the toxic LeBron BS. And I thought we have left that. I thought we left it, but apparently not. They were just waiting for years since leaving the Lakers for something like this to happen. And they wasted no time jumping on this guy and overreacting. Why? Why is this necessary? They'll sit up here and support Bronny James as if he's some high-profile player through all his BS and garbage. But they want to sit here and cast rocks, cast boulders, cast meteors and comets at Russ. He's been a gem for the Nuggets, all things considered. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see this happen, man. It really is. It really is. Maybe Mike Malone saw something in him that the other players didn't have or weren't showing. Maybe not as much effort, will to win, tenacity. Russ is a spark plug. His energy is momentum changing. His enthusiasm is momentum changing. Blame it on Russ. I guess it was Russ's fault last year when the Nuggets lost in a 7-game series to the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? Oh, wait, Russ wasn't on the team. Y'all avoiding talking about all the stuff that actually might have more significance just to cast stones at this man. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. That's all I got to say about it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.
To make it unique, you know. I was in a position where I was playing not my position, and being able to be here and Coach Malone allowing me to be able to use my speed, use my transition skill to be able to make other guys better, makes the game easy.